fight I could. I wanted to be the best father and the best husband I could totally become.
Yes. And you're dedicated to that today.
Yeah, that's my life basically now. My kids and my wife and my organization and my partners.
Yes.
My friend Rob Hickens right there, he put life in people's lives and give people hopes, and that's what people need. People need to believe there's hope for a better life out there.
And there were stages when you didn't think that was possible. I remember I'm sitting with you and you're talking about love and everything else, and you're talking about this process, and at one point you're quoting all this stuff from the Quran and the Bible. I'm like, this man's one of the most well-read human beings I've ever met. And then you turned and said, sometimes, Tony, though, I get so mad. If there's a button, I kill every motherfucker on the planet. I push it in the fucking heartbeat.
Yes.
Like you talked about there's a lot of people that act good, but they're not good inside. And you were telling me about Tupac at that time. You said Tupac doesn't behave good, but he's fucking good,
100%.
right? What's the difference? Tell people the difference about what you notice about the contradictions in human beings.
Well, let me say about myself. You know what I've experienced, because I can only speak on myself. My whole life lived with off my ego. I was a megalomaniac with a low self-esteem. You know, if you said something, I always say I'm nobody. But if it's something I want to accomplish, I'm the greatest. I'm a god. I could accomplish something. But as far as my perspective on myself, I'm shit. Look at the life I come from. Even though I'm making all the money in the world, but look at me, my mother, my father, they're sex workers. What the fuck am I? Who am I? I'm a piece of shit. But I'm the highest paid athlete in the world. I'm the baddest man so-called on the planet. But that's the low self-esteem that I guess that I received. So I guess that's what cuts worked on my ego. My ego is out of this world. I thought people should carry me. I shouldn't walk. It was just, but that's all I had to succeed.
Yeah. The day I met you, you just made like $30 million in that fight.
Yeah.
And yet I saw how miserable you were because there wasn't love. You had a little family around you, your trainer and your church, they really cared about you. But you've gone through so many people took advantage. How'd you get through that, man? How'd you get through being able to trust people? Because you weren't able to trust anybody for good reason.
Hey, because I couldn't trust myself. I had to be able to trust myself. You know, I had to learn to love myself. I had to learn to respect myself.
How'd you do that after all those years?
Just dealing with the pain. It took like what's this lady Clinton had said? It took a village. No one person could do it. I had help from people who are no longer here anymore.
Yeah.
And it was a science project. Trust me.
Science project. That's awesome. And so you become the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of the world at 20 years old. And all of a sudden, you're the most famous athlete on earth. I mean, you went to Japan. Remember in Japan? It was insane. Tell me about, like, how do you deal with that when no one's prepared? No one understands what fame does to somebody. What they think fame is this beautiful thing, and it is, but then it comes with a price. Tell us about the price. What did you experience? What was the joy of it? What was the price of it?
In true perspective, in one stage, I was a god, but I just didn't know what to do. I was on the clouds, but I just didn't know what to do. I was there, and I got sucked into all my vices, women, drinking, parties, spending, and it just took a toll on me. It took a toll on my self-esteem. Took a toll on my whole barometer, so to speak.
Yeah, you made $500 million plan doing 58 fights. You won 50 of them, 44 by knockout. Nobody sees that anymore. People watch the UFC because most people are bored with boxing, because even the great boxers, you just went at it. What is it, at the end of that, what do you do to be able to find a new meaning for your life when you've been trained to be this way? I mean, people are pissed at you because you acted like a beast, but they trained you to be a beast. How did you make the transition, man?
I'm trying to make some sense out of my relationships with individuals, and eventually, like with my wife, let her understand this is going to be hell. You know what I mean? And she it appears that she can understand what I'm talking, because she's probably experienced some tough cases of relationship. But when she figures out this is really hell, I'm just really, I can't even define the word. I'm just really, gratitude is the word I'm looking for. I'm really grateful that she stuck in with me. And we have the relationship that we did. We went through hell to receive it, but I'm just so happy that she stuck with me. Nobody would never stuck with me. Listen, let me tell you a quick story. One day, I have to go to my probation office to do my drug test, right? No, she had to go to her probation office to take a drug test. I'm doing cocaine. I kiss my wife. The cocaine goes into her system. She goes to a doctor, takes a test, and the cocaine's in her system.
Wow.
And she called me and said, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you. They're gonna take my kid away." I'm so scared, I just get out of the house and leave. I no car. I'm walking 10 miles. Let's get out and leave. Somebody said, Mike Tyson, what are you doing walking? I said, please give me a ride. I got in the car and they took me where I had to go. But I was so afraid. I didn't know. I didn't want to deal with that pressure. What I had to deal with. I just left the house. In my mind, I said, well, she's going to get up and everything's good. Well, it can't be bad. Everybody's happy. I did cocaine, so everybody's still happy. I kiss her. It gets in the system. And when she tells me that, I'm saying, oh, I feel like dying. I just ran. I didn't want to face her. I couldn't do it. I thought, oh, I'm such a bum.
There's some famous moments for you that's become somewhat infamous. Tell us about how the hell you end up with tigers. Pigeons? Tell us about pigeons, and then tell us about tigers. How the hell you end up with tigers? You got pictures you in your underwear holding a tiger by a chain.
I've always had pigeons my whole life since I was 8, 9 years old. That's just what we do in Brooklyn, New York. We fly pigeons. I don't know why, but that's just what we do. And
what do pigeons mean to you at that stage of your life, brother?
That was our freedom. That was our ego. That was everything. You had the best pigeons in the neighborhood, and people would come from other neighborhoods and say, who flies up there? And I mean, who birds up there flying up there? And you would tell them, and you could see his birds flying from way over your neighborhood, and said, that's the guy to fly over there. And that was popular in our neighborhood. That was having great birds gave you respect and stuff. And I was a little kid, and I wanted to have respect like the big guys had and stuff, but I didn't realize you had to be big to get the respect.
And what about tigers? How do you end with tigers?
Listen, this is really funny. So I'm in prison. I'm talking to my car dealer. And my car dealer is talking about some friend of mine that bought cars from him but never paid him all the money. So he said, Michael, so if they don't pay me all my money for the car, I'm going to trade that car in and get some animals like horses and stuff. I said, what? You can buy horses? He said, yeah, I know a guy that sells horses, tigers, cougars, penguins, all kind of animals, right? And I said, really? What? He said, wouldn't that be cool, Mike, if you had one of your Ferraris and you had your tiger in you? I said, that would be very cool. And so I said, I explained, I said, well, why don't you tell the dealer to send me a couple of cubs, right? And so I'm at my house in Ohio, and my wife at the time is 19, but she came to visit me, right? And she came to visit me. As soon as she came to visit me, the cubs came that day. Boom. And she was there when we were playing with the cubs. That's the first time I ever interacted with cubs. I had no experience with cubs. I didn't know they're capable of killing you at a certain particular time in their life. And I worked out. I was lucky for me. My cats, I had them for 14, 15 years. They never killed me. I heard
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
They must have sensed the love in you, brother.
Oh, that's all I had to give them, love.
Yeah, and so you even took a wild animals, and your love made them love you.
Yeah, but they bit other people, though, but they just never bit me. They bit other people, now.
So tell me something. Why do you think Customato was put in your life? I mean, this guy was a legend. He worked with the greatest of all time. You look back on it now, and you look at your life, because one of the things that's beautiful about you today, brother, is you have a different level of self-awareness. Like most people are like still locked into their own head. They're locked in their own mind. They're locked